He got naked in front of me. He forced me. He offered me money to have.
John Travolta, as a Scientologist, would not want to be seen as being gay or actively gay because of the public relations aspect of Scientology's promises to be able to cure gay.
And after my loss, I had 2 full years of full-time help from my church, and they never left my side, you know, and I got through a time that I didn't think I was going to make it.
John Travolta has finally spoken on his gay secret and how the Church of Scientology weaponized his sexuality.
And he said, Fabian, don't say anything. Please do not say anything. And I will take care of you. I promise you. I promise you. And I will give you $12,000. So please come back tonight, but do not say anything.
$112,000 to stay quiet. That's what it cost to protect Hollywood's most dangerous secret. When money didn't work, Scientology deployed total life destruction. They turned accusers into unemployable pariahs overnight.
In a way, to leave the state room in a professional way. He told me that, Fabian, I have something on the neck over here. And I thought that was some simple things, maybe, I don't know, but he asked me. So I said, sir, it's okay.
For 40 years, John Travolta lived as their most valuable prisoner. The Dancing King became proof their technology could cure homosexuality, except it only buried the truth deeper. Now that prison is cracking, in 1977, John Travolta was untouchable. Saturday Night Fever had transformed him from a television actor into a global phenomenon. The 23-year-old heartthrob commanded millions at the box office and had teenage girls screaming his name across the world. But success brought scrutiny, and scrutiny brought dangerous questions about the young star's private life. The rumors started almost immediately. Industry insiders whispered about late-night encounters, about the handsome young actor's preference for male company when the cameras stopped rolling. In an era when coming out meant career suicide, these whispers could destroy everything Travolta had worked to build.
I could feel his erected penis floating on me, and I couldn't move, you know? And suddenly I told him, sir, I removed him, not in a professional way. And I said, sir, this is wrong.
The encounters weren't isolated incidents. From saunas to hotel rooms, from massage sessions to private planes, a pattern emerged of a man struggling to reconcile his public image with his private desires. But Travolta had found something more powerful than publicists or damage control experts. He had found Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard's organization promised something no other institution could deliver: a cure for homosexuality. Through their controversial practices, they claimed they could eliminate what they called aberrant behavior and restore their followers to heterosexual normalcy. For a closeted actor in Hollywood's golden age, this wasn't just appealing, it was salvation. Travolta dove deep into Scientology's world, completing course after course, moving up their complex hierarchy of spiritual advancement. The organization surrounded him with handlers, monitors, and spiritual counselors who tracked his every move and documented his most intimate confessions.
I really feel like I defend it. I feel like I tell the truth about what it is for me, and that handles it, because 40 years, it's been amazing. I've saved other people's lives. I've saved my own life several times.
But the cure came with a price. Scientology's approach to sexuality wasn't healing. It was suppression through fear and control. Members who struggled with same-sex attraction were subjected to intensive auditing sessions designed to identify and eliminate the source of their aberration. The process often involved reliving traumatic experiences repeatedly until the subject achieved what Scientology called a win. For Travolta, the organization became both his salvation and his prison. They offered protection from public exposure while simultaneously creating detailed records of every confession, every struggle, every moment of weakness. These files became leverage, ensuring his absolute loyalty to an organization that could destroy him with a single leak. The arrangement worked perfectly for both parties. Travolta received the cover he needed to maintain his visible success story. living proof that their technology could transform even the most hopeless cases.
I'm involved 32 years in Scientology, and it's given me all the tools to survive in life that I need, and it helps so many people, and we're all over the world.
Those tools to survive weren't spiritual enlightenment. They were an elaborate system of psychological control that would dominate every aspect of his life for the next 4 decades. By the late 1980s, John Travolta's career had hit turbulence. A string of box office failures had tarnished his golden boy image, and persistent rumors about his continued to threaten his marketability. Scientology's solution was elegant in its simplicity. John Travolta needed a wife. Kelly Preston wasn't just any actress. She was a fellow Scientologist, someone who understood the rules of the game and could be trusted to play her part perfectly. Their 1991 wedding wasn't just a romantic union. It was a carefully orchestrated public relations campaign designed to silence decades of speculation. The marriage provided exactly what Scientology had promised: respectability, normalcy, and an end to the whispered questions about Travolta's private life. Photos of the happy couple graced magazine covers, and their subsequent children became living proof of John's heterosexual authenticity.
Good night.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to see my kids.
That's a great idea. If you've got the power to do that, why not?
Well, I actually got it from Gene Hackman. He told me I said, you can put limits on these things?
But behind the perfect family facade, the old patterns continued. Hotel encounters, massage therapists, private moments that contradicted everything the public believed about America's favorite family man. Each incident required immediate damage control. Each accuser needed to be silenced. Each threat demanded a more sophisticated response. Mike Rinder, former high-ranking Scientology executive, witnessed one of these moments firsthand. In his explosive tell-all book, he described arriving at Travolta's hotel suite for a public relations meeting only to watch the actor's male masseur enter wearing nothing but a robe, kiss Travolta on the mouth, and invite him to the bedroom.
Fabian, oh, I have something on the neck over here. And I thought that was some simple things, maybe, I don't know, but he asked me. So I said, sir, it's okay, you're okay, you don't have nothing. So during that time, he take out the bathrobe. It was white, and he got naked.
The massage sessions became a recurring theme in multiple accusations. Fabian Zanzi, a cruise ship masseur, provided graphic details of an encounter where Travolta allegedly exposed himself, offered money for and attempted to force physical contact. When Zanzi refused and tried to leave professionally, Travolta allegedly became desperate, offering specific dollar amounts to buy his silence. For Scientology, each new accusation represented both a crisis and an opportunity. Crisis because exposure could destroy their most valuable celebrity endorsement. Opportunity because successful suppression demonstrated their power and effectiveness to other high-profile members wrestling with similar secrets. The organization's response followed a predictable pattern: deny everything, attack the accuser's credibility, threaten lawsuits, and deploy private investigators to uncover compromising information about anyone who dared to speak publicly. They had perfected this system over decades, turning reputation destruction into an art form. But Kelly Preston's role in this elaborate charade remains one of the most heartbreaking aspects of the entire story. Former Scientology executives suggest she was fully aware of her husband's struggles, but had been conditioned to view them as spiritual failings that could be overcome through dedication to the church's teachings. The Church of Scientology didn't just protect John Travolta's secret, they industrialized the process. What started as damage control for one celebrity became a sophisticated operation involving dozens of operatives, millions of dollars, and tactics that would make intelligence agencies envious. Mike Rinder's revelations exposed the depth of Scientology's involvement in managing Travolta's image. As a high-ranking executive, Rinder was personally tasked with handling what the organization euphemistically called Travolta's PR issues. This wasn't typical celebrity management. This was warfare.
And they actually went around destroying my businesses deliberately, contacting my clients, contacting my staff members to say, don't work for him anymore, don't buy things from him anymore. He is completely a bad person. He is basically, they're trying to protect OT8 and the reputation of Scientology by
The organization's tactics went far beyond traditional public relations. They employed private investigators to dig up dirt on potential accusers, used legal threats to intimidate witnesses, and systematically destroyed the livelihoods of anyone who posed a threat to their carefully constructed narrative. When the National Enquirer began investigating rumors about Travolta's in the 1990s, Scientology launched a preemptive strike. Rather than simply denying the allegations, they went after the sources, the reporters, and even the publication itself. They filed lawsuits, launched counter-investigations, and used their network of celebrity members to pressure media outlets into silence. The church's approach to Tom Cruise's marital problems revealed the breadth of their capabilities. According to Rinder, when Cruise's marriage to Nicole Kidman began deteriorating due to his lack of romantic interest, Scientology leader David Miscavige ordered comprehensive surveillance of Kidman. They hired prominent private investigator Anthony Pellicano to tap her phones and monitor her activities.
He was absolutely distraught and destroyed because his father had once again busted him from class 12 to 0 in his qualifications, which is the ultimate penalty in Scientology, is to cancel all your certificates and say you have to retrain from the bottom up again.
The organization's control extended to Travolta's children, who were indoctrinated from birth into a system that viewed their father's struggles as spiritual defects that could be overcome through proper application of Scientology principles. The tragic death of Jet Travolta in 2009 highlighted how deeply the church's beliefs had penetrated the family's medical decisions and daily life. Scientology's investment in protecting Travolta wasn't altruistic, it was business. The actor served as their most visible success story, living proof that their technology could transform lives and cure conditions that traditional medicine couldn't touch. His continued membership validated their entire approach to dealing with homosexuality and attracted new followers seeking similar transformations. But the system created its own problems. The more elaborate the cover-up became, the more people knew about it. The more operatives involved, the greater the risk of exposure. The more aggressive their tactics, the more attention they attracted from law enforcement and investigative journalists. By the 2000s, Scientology was spending an estimated millions annually on Travolta-related crisis management. They maintained safe houses, employed full-time handlers, and kept legal teams on retainer specifically for issues involving their most valuable celebrity member. The question wasn't whether the truth would eventually come out. It was whether Scientology could maintain control long enough to protect their investment and preserve their reputation as an organization capable of delivering miraculous transformations. The carefully constructed wall of silence began cracking in 2012 when multiple accusers decided the risk of speaking out was worth the potential consequences. What emerged wasn't a single incident or isolated encounter. It was a decades-long pattern of behavior that Scientology had spent millions to suppress. Fabian Zanzi's account provided the most detailed description of an alleged encounter. Working as a masseur on a cruise ship, Zanzi claimed Travolta summoned him for what was supposed to be a professional massage session. Instead, according to Zanzi's sworn statement, the actor removed his robe, exposed himself, and made explicit advances.
It works. It's very successful. It shows by the growing amount of people interested in the subject matter.
Zanzi's description of his paralysis during the alleged revealed the power dynamic at play. This wasn't just a celebrity making advances. This was one of the most powerful men in entertainment using his position to compromise someone whose career depended on discretion and professionalism. When Zanzi attempted to leave the situation professionally, Travolta allegedly became desperate, offering specific amounts of money for silence and compliance. The sum mentioned, $112,000, wasn't random. It represented a calculated assessment of what Zanzi's silence was worth to protect a reputation valued in the hundreds of millions.
Say, Fabian, don't say anything. Please do not say anything. And I will take care of you. I promise you. I promise you. And I will give you $12,000. So please come back tonight, but do not say anything.
But Zanzi wasn't alone. Multiple massage therapists, hotel staff, and service industry workers came forward with similar accounts spanning decades. The consistency of their stories, the same modus operandi, the same desperate offers of money, the same threats wrapped in promises of career advancement, suggested a pattern rather than isolated incidents. Each accuser faced immediate retaliation. Private investigators appeared at their workplaces, asking questions about their backgrounds, their finances, their personal relationships. Legal threats arrived by certified mail. Employers received anonymous calls questioning their staff's integrity and professionalism.
My staff members to say, don't work for him anymore, don't buy things from him anymore. He is completely a bad person. He is basically, they're trying to protect OT8 and the reputation of Scientology by destroying me.
The organization's intimidation tactics were sophisticated and relentless. They didn't just threaten lawsuits, they filed them, forcing accusers to choose between bankruptcy and silence. They didn't just investigate backgrounds, they weaponized personal information, threatening to expose financial problems, family secrets, or immigration issues. For many accusers, the choice was simple: remain silent and keep their livelihoods, or speak truth and face total destruction. Most chose silence, understanding that fighting Scientology meant fighting an organization with unlimited resources and no moral boundaries. But some refused to be intimidated. They spoke to attorneys, gave interviews to journalists, and filed police reports despite knowing the consequences. Their courage began attracting attention from investigative reporters, former Scientology members, and law enforcement agencies already monitoring the organization's activities. The accusers' stories weren't just about conduct. They were about systematic abuse of power, institutional cover-ups, and the weaponization of wealth and influence to silence victims. Each testimony added another piece to a puzzle that revealed how America's most secretive organization operated behind closed doors. By 2020, the dam was breaking. Kelly Preston's death from breast cancer removed Travolta's most important shield, while former Scientology executives began publishing tell-all books that exposed decades of institutional cover-ups. The carefully maintained facade was crumbling, and not even Scientology's vast resources could contain the flood of revelations. Mike Rinder's book provided the smoking gun that investigators had been seeking for decades. His first-hand account of witnessing Travolta's intimate encounter with a male masseur wasn't hearsay or speculation. It was testimony from someone who had been inside the room, someone who had helped orchestrate the cover-up, someone who understood exactly how the system worked.
Dealt very specifically with my actual loss in life and had a lot of help.
Travolta's own words took on new meaning in light of the revelations. His repeated praise for Scientology's support during personal crises wasn't just gratitude. It was testimony to an organization that had become so integrated into his life that he couldn't imagine existing without their protection and control. The death of his son Jet in 2009 had revealed how deeply Scientology's beliefs had penetrated the family's medical decisions. The tragedy highlighted the true cost of the actor's dependence on an organization that prioritized image management over genuine healing. Former Scientology executive Karen de la Carriere provided crucial context about Kelly Preston's role in the elaborate charade. According to de la Carriere, Preston wasn't naive about her husband's sexuality. She was a willing participant in a system that trained members to ignore contradictory evidence and maintain absolute loyalty to the organization's version of reality. Even Travolta's explanations of Scientology practices revealed the depth of his psychological conditioning. The streaming revolution and social media explosion of the 2010s created an information environment that Scientology couldn't control the way they had managed traditional media for decades. Documentary series like Going Clear and Leah Remini, Scientology, and The Aftermath gave former members unprecedented platforms to share their experiences with global audiences, numbering in the millions. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and Twitter threads created continuous streams of information that no legal team could suppress fast enough, no matter how many cease and desist letters they sent or lawsuits they threatened. Alex Gibney's 2015 HBO documentary Going Clear marked a seismic shift in how Scientology's secrets were exposed to the public. Unlike previous media coverage that the organization could dismiss as tabloid sensationalism, This was serious journalism backed by major network resources and featuring credible witnesses. Former high-ranking executives like Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun provided detailed accounts of operations they had personally conducted, including specific strategies used to protect John Travolta from exposure. Leah Remini's decision to leave Scientology in 2013 and subsequently produce her own investigative series created an even more dangerous threat to the organization's control. As a former member who had interacted with Travolta personally, Remini could speak from direct experience about the church's inner workings. Her series featured episode after episode of former members sharing stories that had been suppressed for decades, creating a comprehensive picture of systematic abuse and cover-ups. For Travolta, this new media landscape transformed every public appearance into a potential minefield. The carefree charm that had made him a beloved figure in the 1970s and 1980s was replaced by careful calculation and visible anxiety. Social media forensics experts and former Scientology members began analyzing his Instagram posts for hidden meanings, searching for signs that he might be questioning his faith or preparing to break free from the organization's control. His posts became exercises in strategic avoidance. Aviation content was safe. His passion for flying predated the controversies and couldn't be weaponized against him. Movie promotions were necessary business, carefully managed by publicists who ensured no unauthorized questions could slip through. Family memories from before the scandals broke provided emotional content without contemporary risk, allowing him to appear human while revealing nothing current about his state of mind. In classic interviews, he displayed genuine enthusiasm and spontaneity, discussing his passions with infectious energy. The young man who had talked excitedly about his planes, his dancing, and his craft had been replaced by someone who seemed to be performing even in casual conversation. Industry observers noted how Travolta's interview style had transformed from natural charisma to mechanical precision. Where he once told entertaining stories and engaged in playful banter, he now delivered carefully rehearsed talking points. His legendary smile, once genuine and disarming, appeared forced and fleeting. Body language experts pointed to increased self-soothing behaviors, nervous gestures, and the kind of hyper-awareness that comes from constant fear of saying the wrong thing. Former Scientology members who understood the organization's control mechanisms recognized the signs of someone trapped in an impossible situation. They had seen other members exhibit similar behavior when cognitive dissonance became overwhelming. The visible struggle between programmed responses and authentic reactions, the careful word choices designed to avoid triggering auditing sessions, the exhausting vigilance required to maintain a facade that no longer felt natural. The man who had burst onto screens in 1977 with Saturday Night Fever had been the embodiment of pure, uninhibited expression. His dancing wasn't just technically perfect, it was emotionally authentic, a young man channeling his inner life through movement and music. That same authenticity had made him compelling in dramatic roles throughout the 1980s, even when the films themselves weren't particularly strong. But 4 decades of psychological conditioning had transformed the spontaneous performer into a carefully controlled public figure. The organization that promised to enhance his abilities had instead systematically suppressed the very qualities that had made him special. The irony was devastating. Scientology's most visible success story was actually their most tragic failure, living proof that their technology destroyed rather than enhanced human potential. Observers who had followed Travolta's career from the beginning could see the progression clearly. The confident young star who had demanded creative control and taken career risks had been replaced by someone who seemed afraid of his own shadow, someone whose every public moment was filtered through layers of organizational oversight and personal terror. For the first time in decades, John Travolta faced a choice: continue living a lie that was becoming impossible to maintain, or find the courage to speak his own truth, regardless of the consequences. The golden boy who had danced his way to fame was finally learning that some performances can't last forever. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.